Have you ever felt like you were being scolded by a text message? Well, the exact thing happened to me last week, and it completely ruined my mood. It started when I was feeling excited and wanted to see my friends. Then I texted our group chat and typing enthusiastically. I was expecting a warm response, maybe some emojis or a cheerful, like, let's go. But instead, one of my closest friends replied with just a few words and a period. I just stared at my phone screen. In my head, I read that tiny message with a very harsh, cold, and dismissive tone. Suddenly, my excitement vanished entirely and replaced by a massive wave of overthinking. I was sitting there in my room. I felt anxious and insecure about a hangout that I had organized myself. Well, that night, I still showed up at the coffee shop. But the atmosphere felt really different. I kept my distance, acted awkwardly, and stayed mostly in quiet. I was still trapped in my own assumptions, thinking that my friend was in a bad mood or annoyed by me, even though he was acting completely normal and chatting with the others. Eventually, my friend noticed something was wrong and reached out to me. I decided to be honest about my uneasy feelings caused by his text that afternoon. Well, he was surprised with a little laugh. It turned out, when he typed that message, and he was on his motorcycle rushing out at a red light. So there was no harsh intention at all. He was just trying to reply as fast as he could before the light turned green. This miscommunication is very interesting when analyzed through intercultural communication concept. First, this is an issue of paralanguage. Text messages lack vocal tone. When that tone is missing, our brains often project a negative one based on our mood. Second, as Indonesians, we are used to high context communication. We rely on small talk or emojis to show warmth. When we faced with a short, highly low context, we interpret it as a rudeness. Third, this is a prime example of the perception process. My interpretation of his text was heavily influenced by my own insecurities in that moment, not the reality of my friend's actual intention. In the end, we apologized to each other and went back to our warm conversation. The reflection I got from this experience is, never read a text message with an assumed tone in our heads. And if there is a doubt, it is always better to ask directly to clarify instead of assuming. A good communication is not just about what we type, but about how we make room for empathy regarding someone else's situation.